It is time. What's up? I'm Senpai Wind here with
Laura.
And last week we saw the live action remake of The Lion King.
Yeah.
It says something when you have high hopes for a movie that looks really good to then walk out of the theater feeling disappointed that you even paid money for it. Because that was Lion King for us.
Yeah.
The Disney classic is a treasure to me. I love the story, the characters, everything about it. So, I mean, you and I were both excited
Yeah, we
about it,
were
right?
very excited.
I mean, you sent me the trailer.
Yeah.
A link to the first trailer, and what was my reaction?
It was a reaction that I've never seen you give before.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we were very much looking forward to it all the days leading up to when we saw it, but to have the remake be what we saw, I was not happy.
No.
Even though this movie was what it was, I could still find a few things to like about it.
Yeah.
Firstly is the entire opening sequence to Circle of Life. Everything about that made it look really promising.
Yeah.
Everything from the sunrise to the title card. Some of the shots looked like they were taken right out of the original, which I don't have a problem with. The original was great, so why change anything? It made the movie look really promising. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Timon and Pumbaa were the best part of the movie. As soon as they came on screen, I was enjoying them. Every scene they were in, I was enjoying them.
Yeah, they were a good part.
Yeah.
Well, I like Shenzi, which is the alpha hyena, compared to the original where she only leads them one time, and that was
She was like
when Scars died, but in this one she's more of an authority figure to the rest.
Yeah, well, she's acting more, that's because here she's acting more like an alpha rather than just a member of the trio of hyenas from the original.
Yeah.
Here she's kind of like she's the alpha here. So you said you liked it?
Yeah.
You liked that?
Yeah, it's my favorite part.
You didn't like, you liked that she was more serious and not goofy?
Well, she has more of a character, where she shows more emotion compared to the original.
Okay. And I love or hate it. Everything about the CGI and the landscapes, the cinematography, it just blew me away. Everything just looked so real. I think that's also can also serve as a bit of a problem because the animals are so realistic. It can limit their emotional range, I think.
Yeah, they don't really show that much emotion, but they're animals.
And you could see that and hear that in their voices, because a lot of them were sounded like they were reading from a script.
Yes.
Yep. As soon as they started talking, that's when things started to go south.
Yeah.
And as much as I like James Earl Jones coming back as Mufasa, it just wasn't. It sounded like he was phoning it in. And
yeah.
He's reading. A lot of these lines are exactly the same from the original. And in the original, he showed a lot more enthusiasm, but
yeah, like when
here it's not a lot.
Like here, he was disappointed with Simba for going behind his back, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so disappointed and I'm very angry with you," but he showed no emotion whatsoever towards it.
He didn't raise his voice at all.
No, and there's other parts when he was happy and he was supposed to be laughing, but still a lot of emotion, and it was just an angry face that he showed because he's a lion.
Yeah. And I think it's because the CGI animals being so realistic, it limits that.
Yeah.
That a bit. Be Prepared was completely botched. What was once a 3-4 minute song is now cut down to one verse, and they're hardly singing at all.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, Scar was singing while the hyenas were chanting, weren't they?
Yeah. It was very disappointing because it's my favorite song in the movie, and once we saw it, we're like, "What was that? That was horrible."
Like I wanted to see what the movie was gonna do with that, but
Well,
it's again, it's one verse. That's it.
Well, I heard they changed it because people took what the original meaning as an offensive thing, even though it wasn't.
That's probably.
And that's why they
These
probably
are
changed.
this is different times, right? Like, Classic came out in '94.
Yeah, the classic, but people, get easily offended compared to 1994.
Well, again, yeah, that's part of the reason why it was probably changed.
And that's what, but they could have changed it a little bit, but the way they changed it was very poorly done.
They could have kept the full song, so
Yeah, but just not done the part that was considered offensive.
again, no, that's fine. I'm fine with that, but like, I would have liked it if they kept the full song.
Yeah.
So just to have that happen to probably one of the best songs on the soundtrack, it's very disappointing.
Yes.
Very. If there was one thing I really wanted out of this movie, it was for the stampede to be as, if not more intense than it was in the original.
Yeah, I was
Good.
thinking that.
Yeah. Because that's, for me, the most important scene of the movie. It's everything changes. Scar's plan is executed, Mufasa dies, and Simba runs away.
Yeah, and he also has to grow up a little bit more too, from carefree childhood to being on his own. What he thought was going to be on his own, right?
Yeah. And also Scar's plan's complete, he becomes king.
Yes.
So, and this completely downplayed everything. I was not feeling, like when the stampede started, I was feeling the tension because the music was there. But then, again, I lost the tense feeling, and even Mufasa's death was downplayed. You know how in the classic where Scar throws him lets go of him by the claws and that chucking him back into the gorge, and here, he instead just slaps him. Right?
Yeah.
And that's how he falls back into the gorge. And yeah, he doesn't even sound intense. It's just like Mufasa just gives off a very monotone, like,
Well, as well, when Scar says in the original "Long live the king," he says it in this one too, but
yeah.
the way it's said, it's not.
Again, it sounds very
It's
unenthusiastic.
It sounds like he's being sarcastic, and compared to the original, he needs to be serious. And I just wish he was more serious about it, instead of saying "Long live the king," instead of saying "Long live the king." And
the way you said it the first time sounded very happy. Like he's happy.
I mean, he was happy that Mufasa was gonna die, but he needed to be.
Yeah, but he wasn't jumping for joy though. He's like.
But I remember from childhood that Scar was scary.
Yeah, because he's a scary looking guy.
And with him and another Disney villain, Krull, they were my top scary villains. But Maleficent, but this one, it was just. There's nothing to be afraid of.
No. I mean, half the time you can't even tell Scar is there.
Yeah.
There were some bits where, you can see it clearly, but others like.
Where did it go?
Like, what Scar? Also, a lot of humor and some important bits from the original weren't in this one. Like Rafiki's humor wasn't here, but also that important bit where he whacks Simba on the head, that's not here.
Yeah, and he says, Simba says that hurts, and Rafiki said, well, it's in the past, and we can learn from it.
Yeah, that message, that's not here. Zazu singing in that makeshift bone prison, that's not here.
Yeah, and I just think that part's important because even though it's not important to the storyline, but it's important because Disney likes to fill in little Easter eggs for their theme parks and other Disney movies. In this part, in the original, he's saying It's a Small World, which is a theme park ride.
Anything but that.
And so Simba tells him, like, anything but that. So he sings.
Scar.
So Zazu starts to sing A Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. They sing it together, and Zazu says to himself, he's like, oh, Mufasa would never make me do this.
Scar reacts.
And Scar is like, what about Mufasa? And he's like, and that's who stutters. He's like, Happy Pie? Like,
So none of that's here. No Mr. Pig joke. Instead, it's replaced with something I think was said about his weight. I could be wrong.
yeah, but it wasn't funny.
No, I mean I don't know why they cut that. Mr. Pig would have worked.
Yeah.
It's,
Or the part about the Hawaiian dance.
oh yeah, that was switched out for Beauty and the Beast reference. Timon putting on a French accent and starting to sing "Be Our Guest." That's what was here instead of, you know,
Yeah. Like, we understand.
instead of the hula dancing.
Yeah, like, we understand that a lot of humor is cut because they wanted to make it more realistic,
But that's the problem, though.
yeah, it was
Oh, you
a
can't
problem.
Because they're real animals, they can't exactly express them. They can't exactly express any emotional range either. So that's kind of what makes realistic animals tough.
Yeah, the only time it was really realistic for emotions was when Be Our Guest happens.
Yeah. Another problem I had with this movie is it doesn't put a new spin on the story.
Yeah.
It's like in all the classic remakes that I've seen, it puts a different spin on the story, maybe answers a question that the original didn't have. Like, the ones I know I've seen are Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. And Jungle Book had a little bit of a backstory on Mowgli and how exactly he ended up in the jungle, how he came to meet Bagheera.
Yeah.
Even connected it to Shere Khan in a way. Beauty and the Beast, actually the original had a huge plot hole with how long the castle was there and how come the villagers never realized there was a castle there and how long the castle was under the spell. The remake actually answered a few of those questions with it being part of the spell. With the spell being put on the castle, the villagers it also affects the villagers. They forget the castle was there, and that's how they never knew they didn't realize about it until when they did, when Belle confirmed it, and that the enchantress was always there watching, right?
Yeah.
And for Aladdin, I liked this is what I liked about the spin they put on it. They showed that Jafar was once a thief like Aladdin, and even showcasing it a couple times with the Jasmine's hairpiece that Aladdin had, and also with the lamp.
Yeah.
You know, like Aladdin was walking around the streets with the lamp, and Jafar intentionally bumped into him and took it right under his nose. Aladdin didn't even realize it. So I'm like, wow, he's good. Also, I liked his line, "Steal an apple, you're a thief. Steal a city, you're a statesman."
Yeah.
Like, I thought, okay, that was an interesting spin on that. And also, it brought back the theory that I think the classic director of Aladdin confirmed that the merchant at the beginning, the one that started the story of Aladdin, was in fact the genie.
Well, I heard it was supposed to be, but
I think he confirmed it, though.
I didn't know he confirmed it.
I think he confirmed it a few years ago.
Well,
Because in the beginning of the remake, it shows Will Smith in human form, and we know Will Smith before we went into the movie was going to be the genie.
Well,
So to not have like not to have something added in, like a new spin on it, is there's nothing new.
They don't all have them because I remember I saw Pete's Dragon and it didn't have anything that I remember.
You said you saw Cinderella
And
Dumbo,
Cinderella had more of Cinderella. Her name is Ella, actually, and it shows her parents, like how she grew up, how her parents were, and why she got the name Cinderella. And with Dumbo, it showed like children instead of animals got him to fly, because he would blow a feather, then suck it up, then that's how he got to fly. And Michael Keaton's character was in charge of a circus and was called Fantasyland in a reference to Disney World.
And didn't you say Michael Keaton's character wasn't in the classic of Dumbo?
I think Michael Keaton's character might have been in the cartoon, but he just didn't have a big enough part. Like, he was the ringleader of the circus, but his part wasn't big because it was based on the cartoons and the original, not people.
No, I get it, but the classic, like his part, the ringleader wasn't as big as he was in the remake.
Because the focus on animals was more important.
Right.
But in this, it's more of the focus on freeing Dumbo and his mother.
Right. But yeah, like, so to not have a new spin on it, it's just, like, disappointing, really. I think what I disliked most of all about this movie, the padding of the runtime.
Yeah.
If you remember, the classic is not even 2 hours, an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
And this one's 2 hours. There were things that were padded out that didn't need to be. And, well, the first bit was with the mouse at the beginning.
Yeah, like in the cartoon, Scar captures a mouse.
Only a few seconds.
Yeah, but this is about 5 minutes long.
I wouldn't say as much.
It felt like about 5 to 6 minutes long because it showed like the mouse living his life a little bit. Then Scar gets him. Then he escapes. And Scar was like, "Oh, rat! You made me lose my lunch." But in this part,
no. And then there's, oh my god. This was the most annoying part, and this part was the most annoying part, where Simba, lies down and part of his lock of his mane starts floating through the air.
Yeah.
The thing goes on for like
over 5 minutes.
Over 5 minutes, floating through the air, getting picked up by ants, getting eaten by a giraffe, being rolled up in a poop ball by a dung beetle.
And then it latches its way to
Rafiki, but it's like, did we really need to see that?
I guess they put it because of the circle of life, and they need to show all animals.
Yeah, but we didn't need to see that though.
Yeah.
That time could have been used for something else.
Like Be Prepared.
Yes, for Be Prepared. Like actually make Be Prepared a full song.
And I was kind of grossed out when they showed the dumb beetle. I'm like, I'm trying to eat here. Can you not show that?
It's like, really? Was that really necessary? That was the worst about this movie, the padding of the runtime. I did not like it. So I think it's safe to say this was not good. No. Scale of 1 to 10?
3.
3.
And I wouldn't say it again.
I'm not seeing it again. No. So that was the live action remake of The Lion King. Up next is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Till then, see you later.